Welcome into the show, everybody. My name is Marc Farzy out here at the Steven Sayer Studios. This is the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement. Welcome in. So much to get to as per usual. More, hey, how about this? More Ben Simmons conversation. Huh? That'll be fun. Maybe the trade that I've actually wanted to happen for the longest time is actually about to happen. Oh, and then the Sixers lost a terrible game to the Wizards. That was terrible. And then we got some Joel Embiid conversation, some Tyrese Maxey conversation to get into. We want to welcome back in a lighter note, in a serious note, I should say, the Sixers assistant coach Dave Yeager, who returned to the sidelines of the Sixers bench last night, unfortunately returning to a loss to the Wizards. But great to see him back battling cancer for the last 2 months. Great to see him back. He said he didn't want to make it about him, but the Sixers did a great job announcing his return to last night's game and to the bench for the Sixers last night. So congratulations, Dave Yeager, on being back, doing what you love doing, talking basketball, coaching basketball with the Philadelphia 76ers. Just wish they could have welcomed you back with a better game. That's all. You know, no big whoop. We have a new Washington football team. We'll get into that. But I want to start off with something here on the program, and tip my cap to the 6 o'clock people. I'm not live today. Again, not live. Still in the paternity time, still in the dadding stuff, and I got another week of it, and I'm trying to give you guys as much content as I can during this time where I'm trying to help out my wife from her head going off of her shoulders and rotating, and then daggers from her eyes at me. So, I'm doing what I can for everybody here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but it's a happy house. It's a happy, lovely home. Anyway, it really is great, to be honest with you. It's been amazing. And I appreciate all the support and all you guys throughout this entire time. You guys are fantastic. But last night, let's talk about the game, first of all. I don't know how Tobias Harris didn't immediately give that ball to Tyrese Maxey, who was streaking down the court when they were down 102-100. If you didn't see the end of the game, there's a botched rebound by the Wizards and the Sixers, by the way. Ball was loose. Tobias Harris comes charging in. Tyrese Maxey, smart, fast player, breaks for the other end of the court to the Sixers' offensive end of the floor, where he knows if he gets a ball in stride, like hitting a receiver in stride, he's going to be able to score and tie the game up. That's what he knew. That's what he had the opportunity to do. That's what he was available to do. Tobias Harris had his hand on the basketball the time Tyrese Maxey was available. You got to make that pass right then and there to hit a streaking Tyrese Maxey trying to split 2 defenders from the Wizards to score that basket, potentially game-time basket. Toby got tripped up on the play, but even before he got tripped up, he's got to be able to make that pass. If he didn't see it immediately, it wasn't there. Now, some people are saying he still should have made that pass. I don't think the pass was there. Doc Rivers said after the game he thought the same thing, that the pass wasn't there. It would have been too tight a window to throw that ball. The other option would be a little floater, a little over the head of Tyrese Maxey to see if he could lead him to the basket. I think you're just asking for trouble at that point. But see, even that would have been a better decision than the way this play ended up. It ended up in the hands of Joel Embiid, who then made another mistake for the 76ers and tried to go hard to the basket, even though he was closely guarded. He ended up getting blocked. There was no foul on the play, no foul call on the play, ended up going the other way. But after Tobias Harris made that one mistake, you either call timeout, you either float it up for Tyrese Maxey to make a play on. Joel Embiid, when he gets the ball, which was at the foul line extended, he either gives it to his point guard because there was still time on the clock to try to set something up and not rush something or force something. Now, Joel Embiid going hard to the basket isn't normally a terrible thing, but when I just watched with about 1:30 not even left on the clock and the Sixers down 2, Georges Niang gets an offensive rebound and immediately tries to score himself when he's got 3 defenders on him at that time. I like Georges Niang. I like him as a guy to come off the bench and try to score some points for you. I like that. Hit a couple of threes with your second unit. All right, Georges Niang. But when the game's on the line, I don't really need Georges Niang being like, no, I'm going to get this offensive rebound, and I'm going to go up with it. Kick that ball out. Put it in the hands of your point guard, just like Joel Embiid should have done at the end of that game as well. Put it in the hands of your playmakers. Let them decide the game, not you. And if it was a wide-open layup, like if it was Georges Niang under the basket, catch, and then just boom, right back, then yes, you cannot pass up on that opportunity. But when you get a rebound and you got to fight your way to the basket, easy there, buddy. Let's pump the brakes, okay? Let's pump the brakes there. The ball was not supposed to be in your hands at that time. Get rid of it. Give it to your playmakers, the guys that are being paid the big bucks to try to make those types of plays. Joel Embiid. Let that just sink in for a second. So it was an awful loss last night by the Sixers. The entire game, they seemed ridiculously out of rhythm. Like, just ridiculous. There was no flow to the Sixers last night. There was no chemistry to the game. And when the game started out, I'm thinking, hey, this is great. I think Tyrese Maxey had 12 in the first quarter. Like, all right, man, keep that happening. Let's go. And I'm like, this is the guy that I want to play next to. I want to play next to Joel Embiid. This version of Tyrese Maxey. Aggressive, not shy, hitting threes. That's what I want to see. And then it went away. I think he had 12 points the rest of the game, or 10 points the rest of the game. So to me, I like the way it started. I hated the way the rest of the game went. Like the first quarter, even when they were trailing, I thought, oh, they'll shake this off and then they'll get back into it here. No Bradley Beal for the Wizards in this game. Sixers got this. And it never happened. That next gear never happened. I think they took at most a 6-point lead at one point, but that was it. And they just could not hold on to that lead. And the Wizards just kept on fighting. To their credit, they kept on fighting. They kept on hitting shot. Montrezl Harrell all of a sudden came alive in the fourth quarter as well and helped him out. After George Niang botched that putback, they went down the other end, and Montrezl Harrell, of all people, bang, he hits the shot to put him up 4. And that was like, oh, the Sixers can't come back from that. Basically deadlocked it. So that's the way the Sixers game went last night, unfortunately. I do agree with Doc Rivers that the window wasn't there for Tobias Harris. He had to make that pass. And this is what I'm saying, not Doc now. Tobias Harris had to make that pass the second his hands got on the basketball. I don't think there's any animosity, but I will say this. I have noticed on more than one occasion, Tyrese Maxey running point for this team, other team scores, and Tobias Harris doesn't give the basketball to his point guard. Now, I know it's not ironclad, written in stone. That's what has to happen. But if you have your option between Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey running your offense, I'm kind of going with Tyrese Maxey. At least he's been a point guard for this season, where Tobias Harris has never been that point guard. Tobias Harris has ran the offense, done a good job in spurts, little moments of emergency time. But if it's the option of bringing, like, you have Tobias Harris on the court and Tyrese Maxey is your point guard, let him bring the ball up. And it hasn't been like Tobias Harris is just taking the ball and gone down the other end. It's been Tyrese Maxey inbounding to Toby and then calling for the ball back, and Toby doesn't give it to him. And I'm like, I'm sorry, could you give the ball back to the point guard, please? Just, Tobias, do something else. Like, get down the block, get in the corner, work your way in that way. I don't need you running the offense, especially when I'm trying to break Tyrese Maxey in as my starting point guard. So the Sixers, unfortunately, take the 106-103 loss to the Wizards. They're back in action tomorrow night down in Dallas, Texas, against the Mavericks. Sixers will be facing the Mavs. So we'll see how that one goes. Let me get into this. Joel Embiid last night kept the streak going to 25-plus points. Now it's 18 games for Joel Embiid in 25 or more points, 18 straight games for him. And also, Joel Embiid was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Month for the month of January. If your memory serves you correctly, you remember that he was also the Eastern Conference Player of the Month for the month of December. According to the 76ers, he is the only 76er in the history of ever to be back-to-back Eastern Conference Player of the Month. Not too bad. December and January, put a couple more of these months together. Next thing you know, MVP. I know, as a matter of fact, I have never rooted for anyone as hard as Joel Embiid to win an MVP award. And that, it might be sick because I grew up with the Iverson era. Like, that was my era. And I knew the Sixers weren't winning the championship. I knew they weren't beating Kobe and Shaq and the Lakers and all that. And I know a lot of people, oh, well, you got Dikembe Mutombo, you can compete against Shaq. And I'm like, no, you can't. I mean, that's cute. Sure, if you want to believe that, but I believe reality, and that's still not happening. But that was the thought of a lot of people. Oh, you got Dikembe Mutombo, now you got somebody to go up against Shaq. And I'm like, I don't really think that's no, that's not happening. But anyway, it was a nice little thought for people. But when it comes to winning the MVP award, I don't think I've ever rooted harder. I haven't rooted for anybody harder than Joel Embiid, because I think Joel Embiid, it will be the greatest Sixer I've ever watched in my lifetime. Now, the reason I still go Allen Iverson over him is because Iverson made it to a finals. Iverson already won an MVP. You might look at a guy like Joel Embiid and still look at him as the most versatile player. Certainly, no doubt about that. 7-footer, he can do what he does on the court. We all know that. But until he gets this team to anything close to the promised land or gets that hardware, then no, I'm still going Iverson over him, 100%. But I've never wanted anyone to win an MVP award more than I want Joel Embiid to win this MVP award. And I hope to say, look, I don't think the Sixers team's winning a championship. Not to break some news here, but I want this man to win the MVP, and I think he will win the MVP. And I think his goal right now, knowing that he doesn't have Ben Simmons, knowing that this team still has, as Daryl Morey put it, a Ben Simmons-sized hole in it, I think Joel Embiid realizes they're not going to win the championship. But if Tyrese Maxey continues to improve, Tobias Harris continues to come around, and you still get some help by the trade deadline, I think Joel Embiid's thinking, okay, I can lock up that MVP award with the rest of the season and maybe make a push to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do that. This actually came up the other day. Not so much the Joel Embiid thing, but just about the Sixers' odds of making it out of the East, right? The question was from the angel sent to us from the heavens to speak about basketball, Malika Andrews. I'm just giving you her proper name. That's her proper title. I didn't make the rules, folks. But anyway, amazing angel of a woman, Malika Andrews, asked the question of that fella, what's his name? I'm blanking on the gentleman's name. Richard Jefferson and Kendrick Perkins. Do the Sixers have a chance? What's the percentage you would give the Sixers of a chance to win the East? And Richard Jefferson said 0. They don't even have a chance. Kendrick Perkins quickly jumped in and said, I give him about 25%. But Richard Jefferson's argument was that, look, no matter where they are in the standings, a half game out of first place in the Eastern Conference, you got to compare them to the teams, not how they're playing now, but how they'll play in the playoffs. Like, the Nets are going to be a lot better in the playoffs than they are right now. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to be a lot better in the playoffs than they are right now. The Bulls, the same type of thing. Toronto Raptors are actually playing some good basketball right now. To look at the Sixers and say they just don't have a chance whatsoever is ludicrous. That's ridiculous. Of course they have a chance, but when it comes to judging them just by looking at the standings, you can't do that. Anyone who watched them last year should know that. Number 1 seed, went into the playoffs, lost in 7 games in the Eastern Conference semis to the Hawks. And not only did they lose that game, but the franchise has been set ablaze since, thanks to Ben Simmons and his antics and his camp's antics. Ridiculous. But you can't just look at the standings now and be like, oh, look how good. They could win the East. Yes, correct. Could. In the East? No. Second round of the playoffs? Yeah, they can probably get back there. They probably get back to the second round of the playoffs with Joel Embiid alone. Yeah, sure. Tyrese Maxey improving, Tobias Harris, trade deadline acquisition. Yeah, sure, they could get back to that point. But I don't see it happening. Not without getting a substantial amount of help by the trade deadline. And I still don't think the Sixers make a deal by the trade deadline that involves Ben Simmons. I think that's going to drag into the offseason. Now, this report that came out from The Athletic, David Aldridge was one of the reporters on the case here. And this is where we'll get into the whole Bradley Beal deal. I have said since Bradley Beal's name first got mentioned as part of the top 25 players that the Sixers want in return, an all-star player, all-star caliber player for Ben Simmons, I have said from jump, get me Bradley Beal. Do that right now. Now, that's for 2 reasons. One, I think Bradley Beal's a hell of a player. The other is it's a straight-up type of thing. Maybe you're throwing in a pick, maybe, but it should be a straight-up type of deal. The money's right there, matching. But one team gets a 3-time All-Star, the other team gets a 3-time All-Star. The team that's looking to rebuild a little bit gets a younger 3-time All-Star. Yeah, that's what even trade. Great. Thank you very much. Signed, sealed, delivered. Do the deal. But now the story that comes out is that the Sixers are unwilling to part with Matisse Thybulle or Tyrese Maxey, along with Ben Simmons, to get Bradley Beal. So let's unpack that for a second. And I've seen social media be use this phrase 2 days in a row. There's been a great conflagration of social media about how Sixers, no way, don't do this deal. Sixers absolutely do this deal. Like, there's nobody in the middle here in terms of whether or not you're trading Thybulle or Maxey along with Ben Simmons to get Bradley Beal. So let's go into it like this. If the Washington Wizards really want Ben Simmons, and they only want him if he's accompanied with Matisse Thybulle, and you're getting Bradley Beal in return, okay, I'll do that deal. I don't want to do that deal. That's a deal that I think the Wizards, they win by a little bit there. They certainly do. But I'll tell you the deal I'm not doing. No way in hell. And I think people should have their head examined if they think this is the deal they would do to get Bradley Beal in Philadelphia. There is no way I am trading Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey for Bradley Beal. That ain't happening. People keep talking about Bradley Beal's contract. He's got 2 years left on it. He kind of does. He kind of does it. Next year, he's got a player option. You could essentially be trading Ben and Tyrese Maxey, who's got, I think, a tremendous upside to him. You could be trading those two players for Bradley Beal, who could leave you after the remainder of this season and maybe a dud in the playoffs. Why would I want to do that? Why would I even want to roll the dice on that? Oh, you can't waste the time of Joel Embiid. You know what really wastes the time of Joel Embiid? Wasting the next 3 years after this one. Compounding the problem. Oh, but Bradley Beal, yeah, Bradley Beal. Well, Bradley Beal could say, yeah, I don't really like playing with Joel Embiid. I don't really like that guy. I don't really want to be here. You know what? Ben Simmons had some good points. I don't want to be here. I don't think that's the right move. I think right now what's happening, and this is coming from DC sources from what I understand, what I think is happening right now is that the DC people are moving and shaking to get little feelers out there right now. And they're looking at it as, all right, we got a week before the deadline. Let's posture a little bit here. Let's get this going. Let's stir the pot with this. Where they'll say, oh, yeah, we'll take Ben Simmons, but we want Maxey or Thibault back in the deal. I think when push comes to shove, Beal could be traded for Simmons straight up. Maybe there's some picks involved in all of it, but as of right now, I think the Beal for Simmons deal is the most even deal you could possibly make. You get a solid point guard there, a 3-time All-Star. You get a 3-time All-Star scorer in here in Philadelphia to go along with Joel Embiid. That's the deal you make. And I've been on that deal and championing that deal since it was first even hinted at by a whole slew of NBA reporters. That's the deal I wanted because I think the Sixers get exactly what they need. I think they get rid of who they want to get rid of. It's straight up. You don't have to worry about anything else involved in the deal. You could just make that happen. And both teams, they win. Both teams win that deal. But Beal, with Maxey and Ben Simmons, no way. Not happening. And like people are talking about Bradley Beal, and I respect Bradley Beal, a hell of a player. 3-time All-Star, can't say it enough. A guy who scored 30 points in back-to-back seasons per game, all that stuff. We know what he is. But, like, I'm not looking at Bradley Beal as a cure-all at 29 years old, 28 years old. I'm looking at this guy coming in here and being your solid leading scorer. Is exactly what I've asked for to play next to Joel Embiid. Be that guy to come in here and challenge Joel Embiid as a leading scorer. Be that guy. Joel Embiid will be your top-tier guy, then have a solid number 2. Then you could have Maxey and Tobias Harris right behind that. Probably Maxey, then Tobias Harris. But that's a pretty solid starting 5 there. That's 4 out of 5 that are pretty damn good. 4 out of 5 that could score you the ball. I'm going with that. But I'm not looking at Bradley Beal, like I just said, as a cure-all for everything. People look at him like, this guy's like a complete franchise changer. Like, did I miss some kind of like epic finals run by the Wizards? And I know it's more than just one player, but he's been in the league 9 years. And just like the Sixers, hasn't been able to make it past the second round of the playoffs. And he's played with some pretty good players there in Washington. So I'm missing this thing where they're, you got to get Bradley Beal. Because, whoever they want. And look, I am not somebody that rolls out the word untouchable. I think the word untouchable is just dumb. There's one untouchable, and that's Joel Embiid. That's the only untouchable on the 76ers lineup. But just when you talk about Bradley Beal, I'm not trading Simmons and Tyrese Maxey for Beal. I'll think about Thibault. Probably not doing it. Maybe do it. Get around to it. But when it comes to just the straight-up deal, I think that's the best bet for both teams, and I think that's the deal that could actually happen. Right now, I think that the Washington Wizards and their sources, their people, are putting out stories, and on good terms. I don't think any of this is just let's see what sticks, throw it against the wall. But I think right now what you're hearing from Washington is, okay, let's see how this plays. Let's see if the Sixers will bulk it. Will they give us this? No? Okay, all right, fine. Well, then we'll just do Beal for Simmons. They think that's the best deal. And I think right now you're going to see Bradley Beal's name get mentioned a million times, Tyrese Maxey's name get mentioned, Thibault, draft picks, all that. I think all that gets mentioned a million times over the next week. But bottom line is this is just posturing. This is the way negotiations work. I think Daryl Morey will look at any other team, as according to these reports, and say, you're just nuts if you think I'm packaging Tyrese Maxey right now with Ben Simmons to get Bradley Beal. Hey, you want to talk about Dame Lillard? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's party. But Bradley Beal, not so much. That's what I have on the Sixers deal. That's what I have on the rumored reports that are out there right now. I'm just at a point with the whole Ben Simmons. Like, I just can't believe. Like, think about this just for a second. I just want to reflect on everything, like a how we got here type of thing. Just real quick with me. Just bear with me for this, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Sam Hinkie takes over the Sixers. All right, you go through the process. We don't need the whole history lesson. I'm not going to give it to you. But you go through all of that. and you get Embiid, you get Simmons, you get Markel Fultz, you get Hinkie out, the Colangelo's in, the second Colangelo comes in. Brian Colangelo takes over for his dad, Jerry Colangelo, and then they're out because of a burner gate, and then Simmons doesn't play his rookie year. Joel starts threatening to become the MVP of the league. He gets better and better. They both make all-stars, Simmons and that. Markel Fultz barely plays for the Sixers, says he's got thoracic outlet syndrome. The GM at the time, still the GM, Elton Brand, laughs when an agent tells him, oh, yeah, Markel Fultz can't play because he can't, his shoulders bother him, so he can't shoot. That's why he can't shoot. And then now Ben hates Joe, and Doc Rivers is your head coach, and it all just doesn't get you to the conference finals or the NBA finals. That's where we're at. Like, if somebody would have told you at the start of that whole process, all the stuff I just listed off in the brief version of the history lesson, you would have said, I'm not doing that. I'm not tanking from, like, I don't think there's one person to be like, oh, but we get Joe. We get Joel Embiid. But we go through all that stuff. Okay, I'll do it. I don't, wait, hold on. Run that thing by me again about the burner accounts. It was his wife, Babs Botini. Maroon. Anyway, I mentioned I'm not live, right, folks? I mentioned I wasn't live today. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great morning. I really do. So we can also move on from the Ben Simmons scenario. I also hope to get some NBA insiders on. I will get some NBA insiders. Michael Cascu-Blomain will be joining the show, hopefully in the not-too-distant future, to dissect all the moves that could actually go down when it comes to Ben Simmons or not Ben Simmons by the NBA trade deadline, which is February 10th. So that is quickly approaching. Hey, remember football? How about this? Jalen Hurts had surgery on his ankle. Remember that ankle that he said he was just a little banged up? Remember the ankle that he got hurt in with the Giants, and he was supposed to play against the Jets, and then he didn't play against the Jets, and then Gardner Minshew played against the Jets, then Gardner Minshew played really well against the Jets. Remember that? And then Jalen Hurts came back and played all but the last game of the season. Apparently all that, including the playoff game, was all with him needing surgery. He got that surgery. According to reports, it was successful. Always love when they confirm that it was successful. But how much of that influences your decision on Jalen Hurts going forward? And I know this is something we talk about. We're going to be talking about for the entire offseason about whether or not Jalen Hurts has earned that right to be the starter next year. The truth of the matter is, regardless of what we think in our opinions, I believe the opinion of the Eagles is, okay, hey, do you want Jalen Hurts to be your starting quarterback next year? All right. You know, it's like, he's like your go-to at a restaurant. He's like, all right, they have this special on the menu. They got this other dish that I've kind of wanted, but I know I really like this meal. So I'll have the chicken parm, whatever. Like that. That's I'll just have my go-to meal. It's like nachos for me. Go to a restaurant, just give me the nachos. You know, like it's it. It's a simple one. That's how I roll. For those that don't know. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I feel like that's the way they look at him. The Eagles, like 2022, who's your starting quarterback? We'll go with Jalen Hurts. But now they're at the Senior Bowl. Jeffrey Lurie there is with his son, and it's a whole thing, and they're going to be looking at quarterbacks down there, and they should be doing their due diligence. If they go down there and they look at any one of these guys and they go, oh, wow, what do we have here? I'm blanking. Coral. Got a strong arm, this guy. Willis got a strong arm. Pickett got to really like this guy. Pretty mobile. If they really fall in love with somebody down there and they really like somebody, they're going to bring them back to Philadelphia. They're going to find a way to move up to get him with 3 first-round picks. They're going to do that. I just don't think they're going to go crazily out of their way. And I don't think a guy like that really exists in this draft. I think what they really want to do is see if they could use those picks to bring in the Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, all that stuff. But when it comes to this Eagles team, they should be doing their due diligence. I just don't think they're going to get what they really want for their price. I think their price is going to be a little bit too low, and the asking price is going to be a little bit too high. And I don't think they're going to put all those chips in the middle of the table. So I think they're going to look at Jalen Hurts and go, all right, I'll have the Jalen Hurts for one more year. Whatever. Next time I'm at the restaurant, I'll get that other thing that I've been looking at. But right now, I'll just have the Jalen Hurts. And then it's up to Jalen Hurts for them to go, oh, wow, this Jalen Hurts is the best I've ever had. This compliments to the chef. That's what I think they need to do. That's how I think the Eagles are looking at this situation. But here's one thing I will say. Jalen Hurts, one tough SOB, man. Played through that injury, needing surgery, still gutting it out. He knows what he's up against. Make no mistake about that. He knows what he's up against. And for him to go out there and play into Pro Bowl consideration, at least, give him all the credit in the world. I hope I'm still rooting for this guy to be the Eagles quarterback for the next decade. That's how much I like Jalen Hurts. But yeah, he had surgery yesterday, so hopefully he's fine and dandy. Speaking of football, the Washington Commanders. That's what they went with. The Washington Commanders. Saw my buddy E-Rock put out a video of the Washington Commanders fans. I just said that out loud into a microphone. And they're really proud because they think they came up with a new chant. And it is a play off the Farmers commercial with J.K. Simmons. Is that his name? J.K. Simmons? J.K. Rowling is the lady that wrote the Harry Potter guy with the sorcery stuff. And then J.K. Simmons, the Oscar winner, who's also hawking life insurance. And they go, "We are Commanders." Bump, 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 bump. And I think E-Rock did a phenomenal job of summing it up, saying, wow, the L's are piling up already for the Washington Commanders. And he's exactly right. But here's what I will say. Unpopular opinion. Whatever Washington was going to come up with, it was going to suck. It was going to be stupid. And yes, it's all those things. It's pretty dumb, it sucks, and it is stupid. But yes, the Eagles will be facing the Washington Commanders twice in the upcoming season. So at least you got a name. At least I don't have to say, and the Washington football team. I can just say the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commandos? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out there. But anyway, that happened yesterday. So good for them. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, you guys watch the program, and I appreciate. Actually, you know what? Let me get to that in my morning rush segment. Because right now I want to tell you about our fantastic presenting sponsor here at the Farzy Show, Michael Seibert, RICP. This guy, fantastic. You know why? He's a financial advisor for Eagles fans only. Yeah, you heard me. Eagles fans only. His firm, Destination Retirement LLC, is a full-service planning firm and an affiliate of 1847 Financial. Let him create a written financial plan for your accumulation years and your distribution years. With pensions few and far between, you're on your own when it comes to retirement with only a 401k or an IRA. So let Mike help you turn those assets into an efficient income stream that you can't outlive. That's the goal, right? Mike Seibert is here to make sure put a plan in place to help you retire, or if you're already in retirement, a plan that helps you alleviate people's biggest fear, running out of money. Come on, Eagles fans, with stock market volatility as well as taxes probably going up, you need someone who is your financial head coach, someone that'll blow the whistle, call game, and help you win that game with the experience to tackle these obstacles. With over 30 years of financial experience, Mike Seibert is a seasoned veteran who is committed to helping Eagles fans get to and through retirement. You can reach Mike at 484-275-6035. Once again, 484-275-6035, or visit destinationretirement.com. Click on the Find Out app at the top of the page right there. Click on that link and fill out the questionnaire to see how prepared you are for retirement. Mike will get back to you, talk about how he can help. And of course, as always, even when they're not playing, go Birds, baby. Go Birds. Check them out. Destination Retirement. How about our friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers? Everyone likes to say, I hate Steven Singer. I mean, how do you hate the man? Look at this. Look at this gorgeous rose. You like that? Imagine when she opens that up on Valentine's Day, folks. That's right. Your beautiful Emerald City Rose from Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Brand new rose color, Emerald City, pictured real diamond dip trimmed, 24-karat gold, sparkling and deep green petals. This magical Emerald City rose will take her breath away this Valentine's Day as she opens up the beautiful gift box to reveal this beautiful rose. She'll be green with envy. How about that? Go to IHateStevenSinger.com today. That's IHateStevenSinger.com for the 24-karat gold dip rose. Get yours before they're gone exclusively at Steven Singer Jewelers. Just $59, and they come with a lifetime guarantee. Fast and free shipping to arrive in time for Valentine's Day. That's real roses dipped in 24-karat gold. Steven Singer Jewelers. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. How about our friends at Rothman Orthopaedics? When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in PA and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Also want to remind you about our great friends at WinView. We all know somebody. Now, believe it or not, it's not me. I keep to myself in these family gatherings when it comes to sports. But we all have those friends and family members who think they know everything about sports. How about seeing if they could walk the walk as well as they talk the talk? Download the WinView app to your phone. Challenge a friend to download the WinView app as well. And then have at it. Make predictions, make money on the games that you love to see if they can walk the walk as much as they talk the talk. God, they're annoying. We'll challenge you to a WinView contest, win yourself some money, and maybe shut them up for a minute. WinView is it's fantastic. It's not daily fantasy. It's not a sports book. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and win real money prizes on the games that you love by making predictions on these games. So download the WinView app right now. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Folks, I think someone's stealing my act. And I referenced them already, and I noticed it when I was watching NBA Today yesterday. Do you see this? What do you see? What do you notice? Huh? What do you notice about this guy? Huh? What are you noticing about him? Huh? Rich Jefferson, what are you noticing about him? Huh? Look at you. Look at you, Richard Jefferson. Look how many buttons you have unbuttoned. Who do you think you are? Me? I know the people in the comments, and I wish I was live, and I'm not, and I'm sorry. But look at this, folks. Who wore it better? Or who didn't wear it better, huh? Yeah? Yeah. What's happening now? Oh, my God. This is uncomfortable, even for me. And yes, I know I'm not a professional athlete, flaunting fine pectoral muscles, but I'm just saying that's a little much for a national TV broadcast, no? Like Malik Andrews, angel sent to us from heaven to talk to us about basketball. Malik Andrews, please inform your friend. One button. See, this is too much. This is vacation, all right? I'm not on vacation. Look at that. And that's like, oh, he's relaxed. He's the guy I can talk to at the office, right? This guy, oh, forget about it. This guy, I can't be this guy. Like, folks, when I was on PST, people always were like, tweeting me, roll your sleeves down. I'm telling you right now, I can't do it. You know that scene in The Office when Dwight Schrute has to wear long sleeves and he's like that the whole time? He feels like he's wearing handcuffs. That's how I feel when I have my sleeves rolled down. This might as well be a collar. Like, this might as well be like, yeah, take them to the clink, boys. Like, no, thank you. Ain't happening. So that Richard Jefferson fella, you're stealing my act, pal. I know we've both played professionally. You in the NBA, me one game with the Globetrotters. Come on, we're players here. We jive. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that look, I think it looks weird. You guys know I'm a big fan of Norm Macdonald. If you guys are on Netflix, if you're on Netflix, of course you are. But like Michael Keaton did the Norm show. Norm Macdonald has a show on Netflix, and I swear it was like, why are you even wearing a shirt? It was like buttoned down to his navel. Like people are showing chest hair. He's showing belly hair. It was just like, come on, Batman. No, thank you. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that because I was watching that and I was thinking of you. You fine viewers here. And I was like, you know what? This is something that my audience needs to see. I'm going to end the show with something very special. And this is amazing. Shout out to our friends at Collegeville Bakery who recognized the Farzy show's 1-year anniversary and actually put us up on the very now famous Collegeville Bakery marquee saying congratulations to the Farzy show 1-year anniversary. So to all the people, all our friends at Collegeville Bakery, thank you so much. You guys are fantastic. You know I love you already, and I love you even more right now. Mom, I've made it. I'm on the Collegeville Bakery marquee. Yeah! From the Steven Singer Studios, thank you so much for joining us. It's the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement. Thanks for joining me. Be back with you guys tomorrow with some more fine content consumption. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.